Hi everyone, Dr. Connie here. I hope you're having a great week so far. So there's been a lot of anticipation regarding the upcoming American solar eclipse expected next Monday on August 21st, 2017. Please make sure to get certified glasses as the exposure can cause blindness, I'm finding out. It's supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime event, and my kids' schools are allowing an excused absence for this day, which I thought was interesting. To change the topic, I've been thinking a lot about the difference between conventional medicine and holistic medicine lately. There are two fundamentally different ways to assess and treat the disease of the patient. For those of you who are not familiar, these two types of medicine are different in the following ways. So conventional medicine is referred to as the system in which medical doctors and various healthcare professionals like nurses, pharmacists, and various therapists treat symptoms and diseases using drugs, radiation, or surgery. It's also referred to as allopathic medicine or mainstream medicine, and in some cases, Western medicine. And this type of conventional medicine is very much needed in dealing with acute or chronic illnesses and life and death situations. And they become highly specialized. So after completing medical education, medical doctors have to go do further training in rheumatology, neurology, cardiology, nephrology, and pulmonology, depending on their interest. We regard medical doctors very highly because of their extensive training, and in some cases, some of you hang on their every word when in their offices for a visit. I used to be that patient when I was first diagnosed as well with lupus. So one thing you have to remember is that they mostly focus on treating diseases, and treatments mostly involves medications and interventions to pull them out of the acute dangers related to the disease. The main focus is on Sickcare, where the focus on treating the symptoms that keep the patient sick. Holistic medicine, or the functional medicine approach, on the other hand, is aimed towards getting to the root cause of the symptoms and focus on the patient, you, who has the disease, rather than focusing on the disease itself. It's a solution-oriented approach which aims to move the patient from a sick state to a healthy state. A functional approach is characterized by the treatment of the whole person, including your mental, spiritual, behavioral, and social factors that play into your disease-perpetuating factors. I would include traditional Chinese medicine or Eastern medicine and Ayurvedic medicine as alternative/holistic solutions, as they strive to create balance within your body to heal the whole patient rather than in your parts, right? So I have a family member or lots of family members, friends, and colleagues who are in medicine, and I understand intimately their training and their perspective. But through my years as a professional patient, I've experienced a gap in our current medical system to integrate the concept of whole body healing after the patient's parts are addressed. Once the acute dangers of the disease are addressed, the patient needs much more than to be prescribed medications for the rest of their lives if they want to get better from their illnesses. So for years, my medications stayed the same, and even though my biomarkers, like my labs, were stable, my rheumatologist was very adamant on keeping me on the same dose and same meds to keep me in remission. His theory was, if it's working, why break it? And his definition of remission was very different from mine. I wanted to be free from disease, and felt strongly that the medications were keeping me sick to a certain degree. And this all brings me to the topic for today. At what point do you take responsibility for your illness or disease? Do you succumb to your disease and embrace it by relying on those meds to keep you at status quo? I began to ask such questions, and so began my journey away from the conventional practices of medicine, seeking to find solutions to my problems. And that was 9 years ago when I found the Institute of Functional Medicine, and I learned about the different ways to solve the problems for myself as well as my patients. My problem was that lupus affected every facet of who I was to who I were to become. It affected me as a friend, a daughter, as a student, a doctor, mom, and a wife. I was perpetuating my lupus due to the underlying stress, some genetic mutations that I found, eating the wrong foods, and some hormonal imbalances, sleep deprivation, and malnutrition from the leaky gut that I was harboring. This made sense to me, as prior to the training in functional medicine, I assumed I had stomach and digestive issues because of lupus. I also was so tired and found that I had a SNP, or a single nucleotide polymorphism, due to a genetic defect which prevented me from metabolizing B vitamins. This also played to perpetuate my chronic fatigue and irritability at the time. Conventional medicine doesn't assess me as a whole being. Instead, I got shuffled from nephrologists who treated my kidneys, an ophthalmologist who had to assess my eyes due to the meds that I had to take, and a cardiologist who screened my heart for potential issues related to lupus. And after all of them had taken care of their part for me, they referred me back to my rheumatologist. I wasn't happy with the system, so that meant that I had to focus on getting better on my own, fighting for my energy and reducing pain, weakness, and foggy mind that try to keep me in the dark from living my life. And when I talk to most of you who come into my office or have conversations on my social media channels, most of you complain of symptoms as well as result of lupus or other potential symptoms. You know intuitively that the doctors will not really help to resolve completely. Those symptoms are and can be managed, no doubt, with medications. But I think most of you understand that that's really not the long-term answer. So for me, from my experience of being on both sides of the equation, I'd much rather be providing care than to be a recipient of it. I don't like to be at the mercy of a system that ultimately is failing, in my opinion. And every year, my health insurance, my deductibles for my insurance have gone up. And the languages of those insurance adjusters are ever more confusing. And from a provider perspective, it's ludicrous how broken the system is. And as a patient, my plan coverage changes from visit to visit. And those insurance representatives, forget it. I think they are trained to confuse you and frustrate you. So with the current state of the healthcare system, I think it's in your best interest to start taking up for yourself. Get detailed assessments. Take supplements that help you to heal. Visit a functional medicine doctor and ask questions to your current doctor. You've got to protect your own health, and to do that, you need to be empowered with information. Do you need help with your condition, or specifically lupus? We've got a specific solution for you, and we offer our services all over the world now through the web portal. To make a local appointment, you can call 678-335-5566. And if you're not local and want to set up a virtual appointment to figure out the best solution for you, click the link in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you next week.